White supremacy has a DEI problem. Yes, you've heard that right. Diversity, equity, and inclusion has come for the Nazis. Brown influencers like Nick Fuentes, The Handsome Truth, Gypsy Crusader, Isabella Moody, and Zerka have hijacked the white supremacist movement, turning hate into clicks, cash, and chaos. Stay to the end. I'll reveal the Gypsy Crusader's real DNA results, and a spoiler, Hitler would not be happy. So a quick disclaimer, this video is for educational and documentary purposes only. I fully disavow Nazism, racism, and white supremacy in every form. So let's get to it. It's the brown Nazi paradox. Why are so many non-white people suddenly embracing white supremacist ideology? Well, it's because anti-black and anti-Jewish hate has become a fast track into perceived whiteness. When Mexicans, Arabs, and Roma punch down at black people, they imagine they're being lifted up. The irony: these groups that they come from are worse off by almost every societal metric, education, employment, incarceration, literacy, than the people they are mocking.
Yeah, I seen his new fucking tattoo. He came by to the house and showed it to me. It was so stupid. I told him, I was like, what are you doing with that? Like, you get arrested again, they're gonna put you with the fucking Nazis and you're gonna have trouble. Cause you know Nazis don't like gypsies and we're 100% full-blooded gypsies. So like, I don't know how he goes along with that shit. That's the only thing that sounds stupid to me. Like, you're a gypsy and you want to be a Nazi. How does that work?
Let's do a Roma reality check. Hitler exterminated around 500,000 Roma during the Holocaust, yet Paul Miller, the Gypsy Crusader, proudly performs Nazi salutes online. Alright? Screaming slurs at children isn't based or traditional, it's low IQ behavior. His obsession with whiteness seems like a coping mechanism for the Roma's deep-seated struggles, right? So in the UK, the Roma students perform at least half the rate of black Africans on national exams like the GCSE. Black Africans actually outperform white British students on the GCSE. In contrast, black Americans have produced 50,000 patents, established world-class HBCUs, and outperform Mexico and India, the Roma's ancestral homeland, and even wealthy Gulf Arab nations in global literacy and maths assessments like the PISA, the PISA, which is a standardized test they do every 4 years, which strongly correlates with national IQ. According to The Guardian, gypsies make up only 0.1% of the UK's population, yet 5% of prisoners, and a staggering 12% of youth detainees. That's a 50 to 100 times overrepresentation than their general population. Over 31% of gypsies or Irish travelers are long-term unemployed, the highest of any ethnic group in the UK. And this isn't isolated. Across Europe, the Roma are the most criminalized and undereducated populations per capita. In Bulgaria, they're 5% of the general population, they're 50% of prisoners. In Hungary, they're 7% of the general population, 40% of prisoners. In Latvia, they're only 0.2% of the population, yet make up 8% of the prisoners. Yet Paul Miller, aka the Gypsy Crusader, a convicted felon with prior charges for assault, drug trafficking, and firearms offenses, calls black Americans a problem? Hypocrisy. Let's move on to Nick Fuentes and the Latinx problem. So Nick is part of the most violent demographic on this planet, also known as the mestizos. So Hispanics overall are about 8% of the global population, yet are responsible for 33% of global homicides, which translates to about 1 in 3, right? So that means 1350 on a global scale if you compare ratios. 7 of the top 10 most violent cities on earth are in Mexico, where Nick Fuentes' heritage comes from. Is this culture or genetics? Is it the cholo-ness within Nick that's just embedded into his genetic code? Or is it just his poor upbringing? Well, earlier this year, Fuentes pepper sprayed an elderly woman and kicked her down a flight of stairs, then stole her phone. He also helped incite a Capitol riot, leading some of his followers to prison only to mock them afterwards. Right? He called them retards when they were locked up.
Keep moving towards the Capitol. It appears we are taking the Capitol back. Keep marching and don't relent. Never relent. Yeah! They're evacuating the Capitol. They're evacuating. Break down the barriers and disregard the police. This Capitol belongs to us now.
Nick Fuentes is a low-impulse control Mexican that is projecting his deep-seated insecurities about being a mestizo onto black people the same way that the Gypsy Crusader is. Zerk is another example of one of these brown white supremacists. He's a cokehead, he's got a criminal background of some degree, he's always fighting in the streets, he belongs to the most criminal group in terms of foreign nationals incarcerated in the UK. Look, white supremacy today is not white. It's a circus of confused, angry minorities projecting their failures and insecurities on the black Americans. The modern movement is less about race realism and more about race delusion. So if you've learned something today, like the video, subscribe, and watch my next deep dive into debunking Nick Fuentes' fake race realism right here. Click ahead, go ahead. Much love, Da Vinci.